This is Russ. I don't know if this guy in front of me has an e-bike or not. He's got a pretty big bike. It looks like a fat tire bike. What do you guys think from an angle? From a distance, I should say. Looks like he might. Anyways, I am back out on the road. I've never really left the road. It is the same ride that I did the other day, but give him a little space there. Yeah, that was an e-bike. I don't know what kind it was. I'll have to check the footage. I don't know whether I recorded him enough or not. But yeah, I'm heading in the opposite direction now, heading back from yesterday's ride. Alright. So yeah, I've been hanging around this general area because, like I said, I have the kid is painting our fence. So I don't want to go too far in case he ends up calling me and he needs something, you know, at least I can get back and answer his question. Now, here's an interesting thing. Sorry for the noise if you've heard any of that scratching. Since I moved over to this new helmet from Burn, well, it's new to me. It may not be a new helmet. I've noticed that a lot of bugs seem to fly up underneath my, the brim of the hat? I mean, I have like a visor that goes on this particular helmet, and I have my microphone attached to that visor. I will say that the visor does help. It keeps a lot of the sun out of my eyes, but you know, when a bug gets flying underneath that, it kind of gets trapped underneath there, and so I'm always trying to swat away the bugs because they get stuck between the visor and my head. I don't like the bugs kind of tickling me and stuff like that when it's on there. Wow, there's a lot of pollen. You know, if it was allergies, there you go. It's a ton of it coming through to me. So, this year I've noticed a lot more bugs hitting me in the face and everything. Like I said, I'm gonna eat one of those things one day. One of them flew into my mouth. I spit them out. I told you about that one. Oh, another thing I want to tell you guys. You know, when I ran into that ditch, well, it's not a ditch. I ran into the side of the road. Doesn't sound as good, right? Yeah, I ran off the road into the side of the road. Nah, sounds better if you call it a ditch. Some of you guys had made some comments about it, saying that, you know, that does happen, and you know, you should be prepared for that. One thing that I did do, I don't know if you noticed it on that video, but yeah, when I rode off the side of the road, rode off the road onto the side of the road to get back onto this path, you know, the pavement, it sticks up, right? It sticks up more than the grass, essentially. So had I immediately tried to bounce myself back onto the road, I would have, the side of my tires would hit that. It would probably have thrown me over the handlebars. So what I did is I rode it as far as I could while slowing down on the brakes until I got to a reasonable speed, and then I rode back onto the road by angling my tires a little bit to get on the road rather than just kind of, you know, sideswipe the road, so to speak. Because if you can approach it more towards the front of your tire rather than the side of your tire, you're not going to get knocked off as easily. So some of you guys have said, well, that's from riding experience, knowing what to do. Yeah, probably it was. Yeah, because I kind of know certain things, you know, what would happen if I did certain things, and if I guess if I wasn't an experienced rider, maybe I would have panicked and just immediately get back on that pavement, you know. That would have caused some major problems for me. Another thing too, they said, you know, you may have gone off because you were fixated on on that area. I think that is some truth to that too. I was looking at that side of the road, and you tend to go where you look. All right. So had I just looked forward towards the road, not towards the side of the road, I probably wouldn't have been able to correct myself. I also feel too, I was leaning forward on the handlebars at the time. Okay, so like a forward position. You know, some bikes you actually lean in towards the forward part of your handlebars, but you know, on this cruiser you're more upright, so you don't. But I was leaning forward more, and kind of doing this. I don't know if you can tell that I'm leaning forward. I was kind of leaning forward a little bit, and so my arms were not as movable, and I think I locked my position into that side. So trying to correct that would have been harder. I think if your arms were slightly looser, you know, you had a little bit more give, you can make that turn a lot easier on one of these handlebars. So so all those things in combination was the reason why we went into this side of the road and fell off of the path. So yeah, that's just my analysis of that situation. You know, look it over again if you want, and then you decide. But I think that's really what happened. Multiple things happened that brought me there. I think if I stayed more upright and was my arms were looser, not like stiff, you know, where you kind of locked yourself, you locked your elbows in, you know, and talking about lock yourself in like that, I would have been able to maneuver a lot easier. All right, we have crossed the road. People have noticed that I still talk about the stopping issue. Yeah, I kind of do. I think eventually in time that'll go away. But yeah, it still bothers me when people make comments about the stopping issue. I can't satisfy them all, I know that. Even as I'm talking about it now, I'll probably get another comment or two about it. Yeah, folks, I'm not going to be stopping. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to do a rolling stop at best. And I probably will always announce when we're passing a stop sign. Sorry for those who have been watching for a while and they keep hearing that. But if I don't do it, I have to answer the questions all the time. So I will probably say there's a stop sign. I'll do my rolling stop, and then hopefully that'll be the end of it, but I know it won't. They say with all the negative comments you get, that means you've made it on YouTube. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I never used to have that when it was just the knee replacement people. But now that we have a lot more other people watching, who are not necessarily subscribers, that, you know, they happen upon your video, you're gonna get comments. So yeah, it's just part of being on YouTube. So where are we at in terms of subscribers? Since we're on the topic here, we're actually at as of this morning, I think we were close to 5,900 subscribers. By the time you see this, it'll probably be at 6,000, maybe. I'm finding that you know, the onslaught of subscribers that happened within the last month and a half or so has slowed down, which we kind of predicted would happen, because the senior video, I call it the senior video, you know, that got so many views. That's slowing down now because, you know, you've already seen it. And for those who have already subscribed, you're already subscribed. So so because it's slowing down, I knew that you know, we're not going to get as many subscribers per day as we used to in the last month and a half or so. But it's still coming on, so I appreciate it. And questions have been coming up also too about, you know, what bike is Russ going to review next and things. Well, there's bikes in the works, right? I just can't tell you. Sadly, I just can't tell you. But they're coming. Yeah, I appreciate that too. Manufacturers are taking some notice, I guess. Good morning. Thank you. So yeah, they're coming. Different kinds of bikes, not always the same bike. You know, people have asked me, are you a fat tire guy or are you a cruiser bike guy? You know, that's a hard thing to answer when you're reviewing bikes of all types now. We all have our personal preferences, but I think you guys know my personal preference is for fat tire bikes. I mean, I think the reason I bought my first bike as a fat tire bike is because, you know, I am a bigger guy. I feel like I fit the fat tire bikes better. They kind of suit me better. Well, time to go up here. Kind of hard to navigate that little turning thing when I have another rider coming up. And again, having the fat tires, I don't worry about it. Is it being a wider width? It's easier to go up on the grass a little bit like that. So yeah, so because, oops, man, they got to cut these branches. It's sticking out now. Because I'm more of a fat tire bike. Let's go this way. I don't know. I think we're running parallel to the other part of the path that we do this. Because I like the fat tires doesn't mean I won't be riding commuter bikes or whatever. And the KBO is a commuter bike. I specifically requested that bike. I didn't. They didn't come to me. I went to them. I asked them for that bike to do a review of it. And after riding it, I will tell you that it feels to me a lot smoother than riding this big fat tire bike. Yeah, it's a totally different feel. I think if I was riding around town and I need to do errands and odds and ends, I could easily use a commuter bike to do it. Now that I've had a chance to try it. And like I said, my wife is planning to take that bike. She's going to use it as her daily ride bike. Not that she rides daily, quite frankly. I told you guys she only rides with me on Saturdays. Go to the grocery store. But she plans to use that bike to do that. I said, that's fine, you know. And but I could see myself trying that. She has a foldable bike as well. She has the Rad Mini step-through 2, which they don't make anymore. They replaced that with the Rad Expand 5. And I've ridden that bike, but I only had that bike set up for her. I didn't reposition the seat heights and all that. She has a different seat post in there. So I couldn't really pedal it. All I could do was really throttle it. And yeah, that was fine too. So yeah, there's lots of different types of bikes out there, and I'm willing to try them all. But for me, this cruiser, Magicycle Cruiser, the Rad Rover 5, which is very similar, you know, they're bigger type bikes. They're actually more suited, I think, for me. It's not only because it's what I'm used to, but I just feel better on it because I'm such a big guy. Oops, this was not the street to take. I'm just riding streets. I don't know where I'm going, so yeah, we got to turn around here. This is just a cul-de-sac. Quite frankly, doing these quick U-turns like that is not as easy on a bike like this. These bikes are not as nimble. If I had the KBO commuter bike, turning that would have been a piece of cake. So yeah, there's definitely differences from bike to bike. Okay, I know where I am. Let's see, how can I go here? Let's turn here. This is I think this is a bank. Yeah, this is a bank entrance. And Midwest Medical MDs. There's a Mariano's Fresh Market out here. Yeah, let's go through their parking lot and I'll swing back around. And let's take the street. Let's take the street. This bike goes relatively fast. Why not? Whoa. Okay. Haven't been on this street in a long time, so we're gonna do it. So now, here's another thing too. I did a video recently about how fast would a Magicycle go on throttle only, which I'm doing right now. And we found that the bike could do 28 miles per hour even with throttle. So you might be wondering if I always ride 28 miles per hour. No, that was the only time I ever did it. Okay? That was the only time I ever actually rode it at that speed. Well, right now we're doing about 24 miles an hour. And somebody mentioned that they're surprised I haven't been ticketed yet and that it was illegal for me to ride that fast. Well, that's not true. I could ride as fast as I want on the street, quite frankly, as long as I'm under the speed limit. We don't actually have a legal limit of speed for a bicycle here in Illinois. Now, I don't know how it is in your area, for the person who made the comment, but in our area here in Illinois, I can ride as fast as I want. If I can pedal 40 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, I can do it. All right, it's not illegal for me to do it, so I am not hurting the e-bike industry because he felt that I was going to give e-bike people a bad name for doing that. No, I'm legally able to do it. Okay. Now, I cannot do 28 miles an hour on a bike trail and get away with that. That would not be legal for me to do. Okay. So now on this road, I think the speed limit is about 40 miles an hour. I'm doing about 24.5 miles right now per hour. So yeah, riding on the street is a little bit of a challenge because you are riding with the cars. I tend to ride fast on the street because I don't want to stay on the street any longer than I have to. So my feeling has always been get on and get off of it as fast as you can, so that you're not stuck having to be riding on the street with the cars any longer than you have to. So anyways, that's my answer to that, is that yeah, we do have to deal with cars, you know, that will try to pass you and things. Some of them do the right thing and they give you at least 3 feet of distance. Others don't seem to care. They'll push you right into the side of the curb if they could. So that's why I kind of feel having mirrors on your bike is kind of an important thing to do. You don't want to not know what's coming up from behind. All right, so we're going through shopping area. I've gone through here before with you guys, I believe. Take a shortcut, and I've learned to take. I'll show you that shortcut here. And yeah, I know there's stop signs, but it's a parking area for the food store, and there's nobody around. And you can make your comments, I know. But yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Somebody had a good comment about that, you know, stopping at the stop signs and coming back to people who said, "Why aren't you stopping?" And he had a good comment. He says, "Do you stop at the stop signs when you're walking? Fully? Do you stop at the stop signs when you're jogging? Yeah, I guess, you know, it's an equivalent. Do you not touch your cell phone when you're driving? And he had said some good stuff. I don't know if it was him. Maybe somebody else said that comment. I mean, we all do things that we probably shouldn't be doing while we're driving. So criticizing a guy who doesn't fully 100% stop at a stop sign on a bicycle is kind of hard to take sometimes. Yep, see, every single video seems to have something to talk about with a stupid stop sign. I tell you, I'm sick of it. I'm sure you're sick of it too. Alright, so let's stop a little bit here. That is my extent of stopping. People know I've made the effort, okay? I just don't want to hop off the bike and hop back on again. It's just too much. Alright, so let me show you this, this shortcut that I found out. You know, coming back from the 3-mile path and stuff, you know, and trying to get back into the neighborhood areas. I found this little path here. Didn't think it goes anywhere until I found out, yeah, this thing actually goes through. It brings you back to the other side. I says, yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. How's that? Brings you to this little parking lot area. They play soccer and stuff out here. There's a lot of soccer fields. And then once you get past out of here, you're back on the street levels again. I never knew that. It's just out of a fluke thing we found that out. Again, stop sign, but again, nobody around. There's no cross things. Yeah, I'll probably be constantly mentioning stuff like that. Yeah, so how do I like the new setup here? We've got mirrors on both sides. I don't know if I use this right-hand mirror much. I haven't yet. I don't see a real benefit to it at this point. But yeah, well, they gave me the mirrors. I might as well use it. And the one on the left obviously is used a lot more. Because as people pass you with the cars, they pass you from the left, and so you want to be able to see that. The right side, people aren't going to pass you, so when would I use the right-hand mirror? I guess maybe if you were in a parking lot situation, you want to see if anyone was to your right-hand side, but you know, if I'm mostly at the right, I mean, I'm usually closer to the curb of the right. Why would I need the right-hand mirror for? I don't know. I'm still debating about that. Do you guys use a right-hand mirror? Do you see a benefit to it? I'm still making adjustments, trying to find out what is the right angle to look at. You might notice too that I typically tilt these things a little bit. You know, they kind of angle because that gives me a little bit more upper view as well. So they're not like straight across, they're kind of tilted upwards. Same thing on this mirror on this left-hand side, it's kind of tilted up a little bit. I would say the Magicycle mirrors tend to be, I think this guy's letting me through, so I'm gonna go through. The Magicycle mirrors tend to be a little thinner in that sense. So I think if it was a little bit wider, it would be nicer. Go this way here. Yeah, if it was a little bit more, I don't know what that is. That width? Yeah, more of a width or height. More height. I think that would be more of the height. Yeah, this would be the width. If it was more of a height, I would have more. I could see. If it went down a little bit. I know the Rad Power Bikes has a mirror that's kind of like a tear shape. It kind of goes downwards. My wife has that on her Rad Mini Step-thru 2. First I didn't like it because I wasn't used to the look of it, but yeah, the more I think about it, I actually kind of like that. Because there's actually, in a sense, more mirror to take a look at. I mean, it may look a little strange, but yeah, I'm getting more used to it. And you could always buy those mirrors, even if you don't own a rad power bike, you could always go on their site and just buy the mirrors. I'm sure they're happy to get whatever sale they can get. So if you're looking for mirrors, check that one out. And we have a Bike Slicks behind me right now. He's got a regular bike, but we're gonna blast past it because he's kind of following me, and I don't want to be followed. So I'm way ahead of him at this point, but he'll eventually catch up to me. All right, let's take a left over here. I don't want to be followed by the guy. He was kind of coming up on my tail. I don't know if he was purposely doing that or what, but yeah, I didn't want him behind me the entire time. Anyways, the new light is doing okay. See, it's actually blinking. It's a thinner design than the other one that I had. I left the other one on the Rad Rover 5. So since Magicycle gave me the light, I don't have to switch back and forth between the bikes now. I could just permanently leave this one on here. Or if we ever get other bikes that require it, I could always move one of these lights over as we need it. I was thinking too, you know, I've been, as you know, I have a Bikeroo seat or a saddle on this Magicycle. I have a Bikeroo saddle on the Rad Rover 5. As other bikes come in to review and the like, I kept thinking, you know, the initial ride should be with the saddle that comes with the bike, because you want to make sure that, you know, you can report whether the saddle feels comfortable or does not feel comfortable to you. But after those reports are done, and then maybe you're doing things like just checking out how long does the battery last before, you know, it gives out. Having a saddle that you're used to makes it a little bit easier to do those long rides, because, you know, when I'm checking out a battery, and let's say the battery does 30-something miles, I've got to be sitting on that bike for 30-something miles. So I want to sit on what saddle I'm most used to, and that's the Bikeroo. Okay. And as you know too, I don't use the Bikeroo with the springs. I use the one that has the elastomers, which is essentially rubber things. They say it's designed for indoor bikes, meaning exercise bikes, but it's the same saddle. It's just that it doesn't have springs. I don't like the ones with the springs. I like the ones that are just a rubber thing. So if the seat posts are the same size seat posts as far as diameter, I could just pop the seat post off of one bike and pop it into the other bike. That way I don't have to keep buying different Bikeroo saddles just to do these tests out. And I think that would be perfectly fine and easy to do. So I may do that for future reviews when I'm reviewing the range of a battery, something like that. Because yeah, if you're sitting for 30-something miles, 30 to 40 miles of riding, you want to be on something that you're used to, something that you know that feels good to you. So just my thoughts about it. So overall, yeah, I've been enjoying the riding of this season. But the weather has been really strange this year. We've gone from cold to hot to cold to semi-cold to warm. All right, we're back out on the street level again. Threw me back to the street level. All right, well, let's see, where are we here? Where can we go? I think... Okay, go back on the street here. So yeah, the weather has been hot and cold. Right now, I think we're in the upper 60s this morning. So I have shorts on. I have short sleeves on. Yeah, it's a little chilly, but I'd rather be a little chilly than sweating. All right, let's turn here. Get off the street again. I will say that I have tanned up quite a bit. If you take a look at my arms here, I've gotten a lot darker already. You know, I used to get this dark when I was younger, but then I didn't for a long time. I mean, maybe 30, 40 years I didn't, because I wasn't going outside as much, you know, with short sleeves on all the time. But last year, since I started biking again, yeah, I've noticed I've gotten a lot darker. The weird part is underneath these gloves is light, but the fingers are not. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can't tell here. But if I took the gloves off, some of the videos you might see when we do the food review videos on Sundays, you might notice my hands look pale compared to my fingers. My fingers are tanned, but the rest of the hand isn't, because the gloves are covering it. So yeah, those are what they used to call that, farmer's tans? Farmer tans, right? Farmer's tans? Yeah, I seem to have that a lot. Even on my arms are really dark, and then we're above where my sleeve is, it's really light. Maybe I need to start wearing some long sleeves or something. Plus, you know, extra exposure to the sun is not really that good for you anyways. You know, on skin cancer or something like that. I'm just riding in neighborhoods, folks. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just kind of, I don't know whose neighborhoods we're in. We're just riding them for the sake of riding them. And just like you guys, I look around too. I want to see what the neighborhoods look like, see what people's houses look like, see how the other half lives. Yeah, I will say that I've been doing a lot of throttling this last several rides, more so than I usually used to. You know, when I first got the bike, my first bike, I got it to help rehab my knee because I had the knee replacement, and that knee replacement didn't go well at all. I mean, it took me forever to get back to where I should be. I'm pretty good now, okay, but I was pedaling a lot just to help that knee out, and I find now that the knee is better. I've gotten lazy and not done the pedaling the way I should be doing the pedaling. Okay, we got a lot of cars here, so we're all gonna stop here. We'll let all the cars go through. Sometimes it's better to let the cars go through instead of yourself, because they can get through that intersection faster than you can. Just let them go and let them get on their way. All right, we're back to this area here. Let's go back up here. I'm just riding in circles to get some ride time in. Yeah, I haven't taken you guys out further yet with the Magicycle. I'm still waiting for the second battery to come in. The charger came in. I got the battery charger came in. I think they ordered it and sent it to me at the same time. So that tells me that the battery should be in very shortly. Once the battery comes in, I'll be able to go to at least places like Bussy Woods or further. So you might notice that I didn't put the speedometer here and on the cell phone for you guys to see, and the reason I decided not to do it is because I get too many people mentioning about my speeds and stuff like that. I says, well, I don't need that headache. You don't need to know how fast I'm going. If you can see it on my display screen, great, but I'm not gonna put the big numbers up for everyone to criticize me even more. I'm learning, folks. On YouTube, you're gonna get criticisms. Try my best not to make it easier for the trolls to criticize more. And really, who cares how fast I'm going? Things might look fast to you on the camera too, even though it might not really be that fast, but so what do you think of these neighborhoods? These neighborhoods are pretty good, huh? What do you think? They're not too bad. I don't know how old these houses are. Based on their designs here, 70s? 60s? What do you think? 1960s? 1970s? What do you guys think? Can you guys tell? I don't know. I'm not good with architecture. I can't tell you exactly how old a building is from just looking at it. I don't have that knowledge base. Some people, I'm sure, are pretty good at it. You know, they can kind of tell based on the design of a house. Well, back in the 60s, that's what they look like, or back in the 70s, that's what they look like. I don't know. You tell me. Alrighty, I've been riding for a while between the last video and this one. So my battery is down to 14%. And I know I could do easily several more miles even at this range. So I've tried it out. And yeah, battery gives me decent range. But you know, the more power you use, the more you eat up power, the more you eat up the battery, right? I'm just going in circles here. Yeah, you need to know your batteries. It's one thing I think you should do if you haven't done it already. You know, one day take out your bike, ride it to whatever percentage. I mean, this one gives me a percentage. Other ones give you like a bar, like 5 bars, and you know, you can see how many bar levels down you are. Find out how far your batteries can really take you, because you don't want to be stuck somewhere. You don't want to go someplace where you've gone too far and then you can't get back, and you gotta pedal a big heavy bike to get back home, right? Let's turn over here. So yeah, you need to know how far your batteries will take you. And then one day, you know, you could be crazy like me and get another second battery on your bike, take you farther. Because the way I've always looked at battery life is, if you have, let's say you have a range of 30 miles, and then that's all you can do. That means you can only go out 15 miles, and you got 15 miles to get back home. So the distance of 15 miles to me is not enough. I want more, so I usually want a second battery. So if my 2 batteries gave me 30 miles each, I got 30 miles to go someplace and 30 miles to get back home. That's how I always look at it. So yeah, get to know your batteries. Do a test one day if you haven't already done it. And you do that final amount, you know, like you're down to the 1 bar. Make sure you're close to home when you're down to the 1 bar level. So in case you do finally run out of battery, you don't have a heavy bike to ride back home. So anyways, I think that's enough for today. Just wanted to be out here and get a little ride in while the kid is painting our fence. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.